Hello everybody, my name is Andy, and this is a first video on today's TechCast. Today's TechCast's intent is to be a weekly podcast. Today's video is a review over EVGA's GeForce GTX 970. As you can see behind me, I have the box right here. Now one look at this box, and you just drop dead because of how gorgeous this box is. Actually, this looks just like the box my GTX 660 came in. So this is the box. It really hasn't changed much since the 600 series. There is nothing in the box. I took everything out. You might see the card behind me right there. But I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, let's kind of go over stuff like requirements, for example. I'll get that done at the beginning of the video here. So you need a minimum 500 watt or greater power supply, PCI Express 2.0 or PCI Express 3.0 complement motherboard with one graphics slot. Wait, what? That's what it... Didn't they just say that? 2-pin PCI Express power connect... 2 6-pin PCI Express power connectors or 4 available hard disk power connectors. The old hard disk, not the new ones, no. Internet access for driver and Windows 8, 7, or Vista. Hopefully not Vista. My heart goes out to you if you're on Vista. Think about an upgrade. It's probably about time. If you're getting sick of opening Notepad and then Internet Explorer popping up or the time changing, it's probably time for an upgrade. Anyway, that was pretty much it. I mean, this has a 4 gigabyte frame buffer, which... I mean, it's fine. For example, on my GTX 660, I only had a 3 gigabyte frame buffer, and I might have maxed out on 3 gigs once, but that was never a performance issue for me, personally, what I was doing on Crysis 3 on Ultra settings. So 4 gigs is fine for now. I'll probably upgrade later on, maybe get a second 970, I don't know. By the way, I'll put I don't have anything to benchmark, but I'll put my average frame rate somewhere on the screen as I'm talking through, or having it be. We'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, on the back you've got a nice picture of the video card with the ACX 2.0 cooler. Basically, let me read off some of the key features. You get super resolution technology. What that does is you can set that in the Nvidia control panel. And what it does is your video card will render the frame at a higher resolution than your monitor. So for example, not those two. Those two don't even do 720p, I don't think. I have a monitor right in front of me that does 1080p. For example, on Battlefield 4, I would turn it to 4K. And I would run the game in 4K. It would fit the monitor perfectly. The game looked great. But the video card itself was rendering each frame at 4K resolution and then downscaling it to fit the 1080p monitor, and it gave you a better looking game. Now at 4K in Battlefield 4, I'm running an AMD FX 6200, 8 gigs of G-Skill Sniper RAM, running at 1866 megahertz. I have a 120 gigabyte SSD that I have Battlefield 4 running on, and yeah, that game, 30, 40, sometimes 50 FPS at the 4K resolution, so I was pretty amazed by that. I was thoroughly amazed. Crysis 3 is another story. 4K was kind of bad. It was about 10 to 20 FPS, which in my mind isn't playable, but 30 to 60, definitely playable, somewhere in there. Keep in mind, consoles run at 30 FPS for a good majority of the time. Moving on, you get Nvidia GameWorks technology, Game Stream technology, G-Sync ready. I love G-Sync. I don't have a G-Sync monitor myself. I would love to have one, though. Nvidia Shield ready. Yeah, so was my 660. Microsoft DirectX 12 support, Nvidia GPU Boost 2.0, adaptive vertical sync, Nvidia surround technology. Then you have support for 4 concurrent displays, Two dual link DVI connectors, HDMI, and DisplayPort 1.2. I have to read off the box. I can't memorize this. Nvidia SLI ready. Yeah, you get cuter technology. PCI Express 3.0 support. Most things do. OpenGL 4.4 support. OpenCL. And then the package contents, which I'll go over in just a second. It's time to move on to the card. It's my favorite part. This wall behind me is blank. I won't get to the card yet. I'll get to some accessories. What comes in the box? Well, DVI to VGA. If you're gonna run VGA, okay, with this video card, it's kind of funny. Yeah, you could use this. I'll show you what port to plug this in because it won't work for both. Then you're gonna get two 4-pin Molex to 6-pin PCI Express. Like I said earlier, the card only requires two 6-pin PCI Express because of its very low thermal design power, which is, its TDP is like 145 watts. Don't quote me on that, but you get two of these. I only have one because I'm using a second one in there. Then you get a little note card with a glossy image of the motor and the fan on ACX 2.0. So what does it offer? It's 26% cooler, asterisk. 36% quieter, asterisk. 250% lower fan power, asterisk. 400% longer lifespan, asterisk, asterisk. Okay, remark, all comparisons above are versus the ACX 1.0 versus reference single blower cooling solution. So all comparisons are against the ACX 1.0 cooler. Then one asterisk, which was the cooler, quieter, and lower fan power, referenced the single blower cooling solution. And then the double asterisk, which is the longer lifespan, 400%, man, versus competitors' dual fan cooling solution. I do like EVGA though, not gonna lie. I've been happy with what they've given me in the past, back when I used to run two GTS 450s. That was fun. Important notes about your video card: don't do anything stupid, don't sneeze on it while your computer's on. Again, another thing, this actually comes on the side of the box because you can see it's kind of like bent there, and then it went in, and then you can see where I ripped the sticker off right there where you can't read it. Yeah, there's like a nice little half oval, half circle right there. Anyway, let's get on to the card, which is beautiful. Now, I have been running this for a little bit, but let's bring this, look at this, look at that. I really like the design of the new fans. I forget how many fan blades they said, but I will take a look. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, 11. So you get 11 fan blades on each 90mm fan, which is nice. And I will say, especially, I'm still running my 660. I use a dedicated PhysX video card. Keep in mind though, the frame rates for when I wasn't running that, when I wasn't running PhysX on that, I was running PhysX on the 970 here. But this is a beautiful card, and I really like the cooler design. Just look at that, and especially the casing now. It is plastic, but hey, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Complain? Yeah, that's what I'll do. Just kidding. If you take a look at the side there, you have GTX 970. I almost said 790, but you have that right there. It looks nice, especially when it's in the case, and you have your little super clocked. I'll go there. That's just nice. And you've got EVGA. Now the color they went for was like a bluish and blackish, as seen by the front here. You got blue stripe, black, silver, and then you have ACX 2.0 right on the edge there. Looking at that side of the card, very boring. The back of the card, you can see the 3 direct contact. I believe they're copper. The heatsink is appears to be aluminum though. It's fine. This card idled at I think 30 Celsius generally. So in the fan profile, make sure you go into like EVGA Precision X, fix that because it is crazy loud. I had to adjust that because this thing's oh my god, so it's overwhelming. overwhelming. But yeah, that's the video card. And like I said here, and like I said on the box, you only have two. That's because the TDP is 140 or 150 watts. Significantly less. It's almost 100 watts less than the 780 Ti, which is incredible given that this thing in some instances can match the 780 Ti in performance. But then you have two SLI tongue things right there, so you can do a three-way setup. It's nice to have. Oh, and then on the front here, taking a look at that, this DVI port right there, the one that has the 4 holes, that's the one you can use this DVI to VGA adapter with. That's the only one it'll work with just because of the signal that's traveling through. That's why it has the 4 extra pins there. But yeah, that's it. Otherwise, that you gotta use with just a monitor that has DVI on it, or you can go DVI to HDMI. Then you do get an HDMI, and then you get a display port. I forget what version display port that was. Did it say on the box? Did I read that? With DisplayPort 1.2. That's important. Now, my only issue with this, with the card was, first off, and I know it happens with a lot of high-end cards. I'm going to scoot back again. I know it happens with a lot of high-end cards, like the 970 just came out. But I had an issue with coil wine. Now that's actually going to be a video, so go ahead while I'm at it, subscribe so you don't miss that video, because I've got some great ideas, some great things to tell you about how you can fix it. It's very important, so subscribe, stay tuned for that. But high-end video cards have always had a problem with coil whine. Now my 660 wasn't high-end, it was mid-range. I never heard the coil whine. Everything has coil whine. So, but I'll talk more about coil whine later. Anyway, it did eventually go away. The only part I noticed it in was in loading screens when my frame rate would jump over 1,000. But yeah, that was the only time I noticed it. Other than that, this has been a phenomenal card. I absolutely love it. But it did not come with a backplate, which kind of disappointed me. But do not fear, because EVGA is here for me, and got this nice aluminum GTX 970. I still have, look at that, I still got the plastic on it, because it's just so gorgeous. I'm gonna put it on tonight after I'm done with this video, editing it and then uploading it. I'll be putting this on, but backplates are nice. I wanted a backplate terribly bad, and EVGA, thank you so much for doing that, for hearing people and saying, hey, you can get your backplate now. But this came in just a few days after I submitted my invoice. Yeah, after I submitted that. But yeah, it took a few days. I wasn't expecting it for a week or a week or two, and it just took a few days. So that was phenomenal. Thanks, EVGA. Yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video. I love backplates. It's gonna look amazing. If you look, EVGA, you can kind of see through it, except there's like a thermal tacky material behind the E, so it's gonna look weird, but whatever, not complaining. I was complaining, but it's nothing I can't live with. But the GeForce GTX 970 is a nice silver. It's gonna look really good. It's gonna add some rigidity to the card just so the PCB doesn't bend over time. Because I do hope to have this card for quite a while, because this set me back good. This is the super clocked. I don't know if I mentioned that. This is the super clocked edition. Yeah, hopefully this set me back good $370, $380. So, but definitely price to performance is absolutely incredible. I highly recommend this if you're a 1080p, if you game in 1080p. I was gonna say if you're a 1080p gamer, but if you game in 1080p, definitely go with this card. And this chair squeaks. Definitely go with this card. A 980 would be overkill. Now, if you're planning on going to 4K, you could either do SLI with some 970s. I heard SLI works a lot better on the 970s than it did with 780s. But yeah, do SLI 970s, or one 980 I heard can do 4K pretty decent. So, I'm just gonna wrap up this video. I'm sorry for the audio quality. I did the shotgun mic and I didn't set up my Blue Yeti to record. I don't know why. I was halfway through recording this and I was like, man, you know, I should have set up the Blue Yeti and just kind of matched it together. So hopefully this works out very well, and this has been going on for a very long time, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, click the like button down below, leave a comment if you have a question, and I will answer your question. I'll answer any questions you guys have. That's it. Stay tuned for a podcast coming out in a few weeks. We're still planning on just how we want things to roll out. I have a studio over in that side of this big basement room area, so I'm using a pipe right now. Anyway, I think that wraps it up. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.